Well, friends of Mundo, Arsenal 5, Manchester City 1. I just commented on the match for Movistar. I've been waiting to get home to make this video for you all here, nice and relaxed, where I usually make a lot of the videos here for your channel, a thrashing, or rather a humiliation, a destruction. What Arsenal did to Manchester City, especially for me, the last 20 minutes were key in terms of the humiliation of Manchester City. Then I want to talk during the video about what I thought of those last 20 minutes and why I think this is one of the lowest points I remember for Manchester City and for Pep Guardiola, because the result is terrible. It's a thrashing. It's a tremendous 5-1. And this image of Guardiola obviously is one of the images that has to stand out from this match. This image, I think it's right at the first goal or during that play of the second goal where Havertz misses it due to a tremendous defensive error. Because Manchester City, and I mentioned it during the Movistar broadcast, it gives the impression, and I'm going to comment on things about Arsenal and City. And tomorrow, if I have time, I'm going to try to make a report video. Wisecout of Este 5-1, because the tie with Real Madrid, the Champions League at Manchester City, is approaching. And I think it's definitely worth diving deep into this match, even more so when we have the data from Wisecout. But the reality is that it seems like Manchester City wants to play with a handicap. I was saying the other day he gave away a goal right from the start against Chelsea in the first minute, and today in the first minute they gave away a goal against Arsenal. That day they were able to come back, but today it was impossible for City to turn the match around. A serious mistake in the build-up. Arsenal has done one thing very well, which is to press the opponent's build-up effectively. Going really for the ball, going really to press aggressively at the moments when they knew City would take more risks. It hasn't been a constant pressure, high pressure. We'll see that tomorrow with Wisecout. It hasn't been a high constant pressure, but it has been a pressure that at many moments has gone right for the opponent's throat. Really attacking the pressure, and that has complicated things a lot. He scored the first goal. So, Martin Odegaard, that's his second goal in the Premier League. He was out for 2 months without playing, approximately around October, more or less, September, October. And then Havertz had a chance that he missed in an absolutely incredible way. I mean, the chance that Havertz misses, it's a ball that he recovers really well against Kovacic Reyes. Again, with the pressure issue, Havertz is left completely alone with the goalkeeper on the ground, with a player under the post. And he puts it wide. Incredibly, he puts it wide. It was 2-0. In the end, it was 5-1 with a resounding thrashing by Arsenal. This is the first goal, the goal by Martin Odegaard. Let's take a look at the 11, because with the 11, we also get some things that I want to analyze, and I'm going to dive in quite a bit. The scalpel, of course, is on Manchester City, because, as I said, the tie between City and Real Madrid is approaching, and I think it's definitely worth analyzing in depth what's happening with Manchester City. That we'll also do in more videos, of course. Well, David Raya, who returned to Arsenal's goal after not playing in the last match. In Girona, an outstanding match by David Raya, a sensational match by David Raya. Timber Saliva, Gabriel, who has had his moments with Haaland and Luis Esqueli, this 18-year-old kid who last season didn't play a single minute with Arsenal's first team, had played with the second team. This year, he starts the season as an under-19 international, and we'll see where he ends up, because Arsenal has quite a fullback here as well. Then Tomas, what a match by Tomas with Rice and Martin Odegaard, as always getting into the final third and moving really well. The absence of Bukayo, Saka is making Martin play on the right. Doing it well as a Martin. Trossard on the left, he had a really good game. And Havertz up front, he missed that goal, but he could have scored, and he did well. Havertz, a player who, when he drops back to the final third, receives the ball with his back to the goal, knows how to play, extends the plays. Havertz does it really well. He missed an incredible goal, but I did like his performance. Ortega, in goal for City, made a couple of really good saves in the final stretch. Matheus Nunes, I still don't understand what Guardiola sees in Matheus Nunes to play as a right back. I still don't see it. I'm going to ask Lilo, who is a good friend of Guardiola's. He's not going to answer me, but okay. Guardiola on the left with Akanji. Wait, I've put Akanji. Let's do things right. Because here in the world, Martin, we like to do things right. Akanji on the left and Stones on the right. He was unlucky with that goal that hit him in the body. Bernardo Silva and Kovacic. Once again, I say the same thing. Bernardo Silva has to put him in a double pivot, because he needs someone close with Kovacic, and that loses a lot. Bernardo Silva so far from the area, although there have been times when he has gone higher and left Kovacic alone here. Foden on the right, starting off slow, but then he changed. Guardiola. Xavi, for me, one of the best from City on the left. And then Marmoush. Today he had a weak game. Marmoush, second match as a Premier League starter after playing his first match against Chelsea today, and against Arsenal and Haaland, who scored a good header after a great pass from Sabinho with his right foot, by the way, the pass from Sabinho. But he hasn't done much more. Honestly, Haaland not getting much support. They're not finding him often. And, well, obviously, Haaland needs a lot more people to look for him. If they don't look for him, if the team isn't functioning, then it's going to be hard for him to perform. Haaland, why I really liked Arsenal. It's true that there have been clear moments of dominance from Manchester City. That's true. There have been clear moments of dominance from Manchester City. It has been very difficult for City to position themselves in the attacking third. This, by the way, is the goal that Havertz misses. Incredible. Because Ortega was already on the ground and Stones was under the goal, and with the whole net open, he missed it. Incredible. It's hard to believe he missed that goal. Havertz, I mean, there were moments of quite a bit of dominance from Manchester City. They have struggled a lot to position themselves in the opponent's attacking third, but when they have, they've had some good moments. Haaland's goal is a stunner. It's a really good play by Sabinho, who cuts inside. Here we have Haaland's final shot. It's a play by Sabinho, who cuts inside from Foden's pass. Then with his right foot, he sets it up for Haaland, who heads it in like a hammer. It's a great goal that Manchester City scored. But of the few times that City has really been able to break through Arsenal's very organised defence, of the few times they've been able to do it, break through Arsenal's organised defence. But above all, Arsenal, well, I love Thomas. He has retracted very well. He made a great defensive play in the box when he needed to. Great defence in the box. By the way, there have been several clashes. We already know that there were some clashes from the first leg of the match. But here we saw, when Arsenal scored the first goal, this is what Gabriel did to Haaland, who didn't take the bait, to be honest. He didn't take the bait, but what Gabriel did was clearly ugly. Feuds from that first leg match, which was intense. Remember, they lost. They drew 1-1 with a goal from Stones in stoppage time, and Arsenal was down to 10 men very early on. And he almost managed to hold on. How important is Martin Odegaard? How important is Martin Odegaard in this team? Getting into the final third, combining close to the box. Working off the ball as a right midfielder, Martin Odegaard's performance has been impressive. Like the entire midfield of Arsenal. Then the defense in the box has been fantastic. Because it's true that City had moments of a lot of dominance, but they couldn't find players between the lines. Why? Because Bernardo Silva had a hard time getting to that important area. And because Phil Foden was playing closer to one side, that's important too. By the way, this is a fantastic save by David Raya from a corner. A shot from Gabriel. David Raya touches it, it hits the crossbar, and he made a sensational save. Then he made another one. Very good, Sabinho. In the first half, great game from a goalkeeper who is in exceptional form, like David Raya. Chelsea equalizes. What a miss. City equalizes with that stunning goal from Haaland after a collective play. Here we have Gabriel's clashes with Haaland again, which have been almost constant. Saliba also comes in a bit to calm things down. But it's true that Haaland hasn't taken the bait. I have to say that Haaland hasn't taken the bait in the plays. But because after the equalizing goal from Arsenal, from Manchester City with this goal from Haaland from here, I've seen, well, the 2-1 came very quickly, the 3-1 came very quickly, and they were unable to recover from the blows. This is the goal by Thomas, the 2-1. It's a mistake by Foden. The 2-1 is a very serious mistake by Foden because it's a ball that Foden tries to play in the middle. It's that Manchester City gifted the first two goals. They gifted the first two goals. City can't afford to make those mistakes. City can't afford to make those mistakes. The ball falls to Thomas after a pass, who then gives a direct pass to Foden. He catches the team coming out, and then Thomas gets lucky as his shot hits Stones. He changes the trajectory, and there, of course, he couldn't do anything. Ortega, the 3-1 has arrived. What a goal for the 3-1. There's Thomas's goal. And the truth is, from there on, it was a complete rout, a real humiliation by Arsenal for Manchester City. And this is what I want to highlight. Above all, not only has he not been able to react, Manchester City, but in the last minutes, the only thing City could do, for example, there's the goal by Lewis Kelly, which was the 3-1. It was an absolute stunner, a real stunner. I mean, the only thing Manchester City could do was try to avoid an even bigger defeat. And in the end, it reached the 5-goal mark from Arsenal. Havertz has scored the 4th goal, and Nwaneri has scored the 5th goal, who is another player showing an incredibly high level. And why does it seem to me that it was a tremendous humiliation while we see this image of Nwaneri? Because City lost the ball. In the last minutes, they lost the match. 3-1, lost the ball, and didn't get to any loose balls. Arsenal piled on looking for more goals. They were unable to protect themselves with the ball and were literally humiliated in the final stretch. Literally humiliated. They hit rock bottom. For me, they hit rock bottom in the match in Paris against PSG. They hit rock bottom in the match against Tottenham at home, and they hit rock bottom in this match. In these last 20 minutes, Arsenal has literally run over them like a truck, like a train. They just ran over them. And now what? That's why I put it in the title of the video. And now what? Guardiola. Because this humiliation, we'll see what damage it can do to them. They've lost La Liga. Obviously, they can only fight to reach the Champions League spot. It's the only thing they can do. This image of Havertz, which is the one I used in the thumbnail. Now, the only thing Manchester City can do is fight for the fourth spot. Fourth, third, second. There are a lot of slip-ups from Arsenal, but I don't think so. Getting into the Champions League. Could the fifth place also qualify for the Champions League for English football? But above all, to take your chances in the Champions League, that tie we're going to see between Manchester City and Real Madrid is the key matchup. So that this season for City isn't a disaster. Or it could be a season where we'll see if they go further. In the Champions League still, one season is still salvageable. If they're able to win the Champions League, logically it will be a great season. But right now, given the level of this team, I'm not saying they can't eliminate Real Madrid. We'll talk about all that later. But, well, in fact, I already made the video about percentages, and I will keep making more videos about the matchup. Of course, but it's clear that right now Manchester City is hitting rock bottom at many moments. The thing is, it's true that Real Madrid is a team capable of both the best and the worst. And if they dominate him a lot, like Manchester City has dominated at times, City can really hurt him there. But we'll have time to talk about all that. Let's see how Guardiola's team bounces back from this real humiliation, especially the final stretch, and also because of the result, of course. Let's finish with the friends from Flash Score. The 5-1, there it is. 5-1 Arsenal City. Who would really say that? More time with the ball for Manchester City, because it's true they've had more phases of dominance. 7 shots, which isn't bad. 4 on target, which isn't bad. But today, Arsenal had 12 shots and 7 on target. He has had a keen eye. He has had the ability to get it right almost every time. And that's after Havertz missed a goal. Absolutely incredible. In short, humiliation by Arsenal over Manchester City, a match that will take a long time to be remembered. Friends from around the world, Martin, this is where the route started with this goal from Odegaard. A hug. We are passionate about the Premier League. We're still here on your channel with the Premier, of course. A hug. Bye.